Okay. I start a little early on this thing to, let me see here. I start a little early on this thing just to make sure that I'm out there when you guys get there and everything. Hope the volume's okay. Not sure how this works. So probably when I get done, I'll have to end up doing it all over again. Who knows? Anyhow, um, talk. What should we talk about this week? It's you have one of those weeks where there's uh, a lot of things to talk about, and you don't really want to talk about any of them, you know. But I guess we should. Um, an interesting way to start is that this guy named Acosta from CNN was trying to talk to the president or something, and the president won't talk to him. And anyhow, he was talking about the insurrection and what the ex-president believes, and said, "If you truly believe this, sir, you're ill. You should seek help." We all know that. Well, I shouldn't say we all know that. There's people that realize that he's not a well man, and then there are those that don't care. They listen to him. You know, members of his party, uh, a good portion of that party listens to him, um, and that's a mistake because you're listening to a man that has that's not in touch with reality. He believes that sometime in August, the military will reappoint him as president of the United States. Now, because the election was fraudulent, and if they do that, it's going to have to be an unconstitutional move. It would have to be done through a coup, because it's not possible for legally for him to become president again by appointment. I mean, he can run for election in 2024 and win and become president again, and then in which case I am glad I'm outside the United States, because that's going to be one hell of a place not to be. Um, you know how he is. He's a vengeful prick. He never lets anything go. He just he's got a list of people he wants to hang out to dry. Uh, I doubt if I'm on the list. That would be nice if I was, but I doubt if I'm on the list. I don't think he even knows I exist. But the thing is that there's more than me out there. Um, I do these live broadcasts, which is something my friends won't do. They won't even watch it for the most part because they're tired of politics. They just want to sit back and enjoy life. The COVID's over. They want to go out to the park, to the movies, and whatnot. They don't want to worry about politics. Well, I'm not worried about politics. I'm worried about democracy. I've seen this man in action, especially now. I've seen the Republican Party in action right now, restricting voting rights. And let me tell you something. Racism isn't a Republican thing. Racism is a national problem. There's just as many Democrats that are racist as there are Republicans. I'll bet money on that. Uh, they're sitting back there saying black people can't vote. So who cares? What about, we mean the American Indian can't vote? Who the hell is the American Indian? Why should he have a right to vote? Well, I can give you about a million reasons on that, but I don't want to get started on that part right now. I don't know. I was started to read something just before I came on air that about how different people are going to be counting the votes now and whatnot, and they've already found all kinds of lacks of security and irregularities in the recounts that are going on right now. And what they're saying is that some of these laws give the state legislatures the powers to change the results of the election if they don't like it. Put different people in the electoral college than what were elected by the public. So what they're basically telling you is that they're going to try to restrict voting, and then they're going to turn around and tell you your vote doesn't count, doesn't mean anything. And here we are trying to get people to vote, to come out on issues and to vote, and you have these people sitting around saying, "Oh no, don't screw it. It don't. Who matters? It doesn't count. Your vote's not going to count anyhow." Man, that was a problem back when I was much younger, like 50 years younger. Uh, We sat around and we did. So why should we vote, man? Nobody cares. This was after Kennedy got shot. You know, um, I'm not sure that Kennedy had some good ideas, but I'm not sure Kennedy was going to turn out to be a great president. I still think that the uh, Truman was probably the last strong, great president we had. He's a Democrat, but that's not the point. You have this, but now you have these people running around. They blame it on the Republicans. They sit there, and there's ways they can get around everything in the Congress, and there's ways Biden can make proclamations. I mean, look, Trump made them every week, every day. You know, turned them into law. There's no limit on to how many he can do. There's no limit as to what he can do or can't do. I don't think. I don't know exactly the whole story on the presidential proclamation deal, but I think he. I don't think he can go in and affect states. I don't think he can make a federal law like a voting rights law and be able to enforce it. You know, but this is all about getting this wacko back in office. He believes now, the wacko believes now that August he will be reinstated as president by the military or by I don't know by who, but by somebody, I guess. That's not going to happen. If it does, it won't be a bloodless coup. There's too many guns out there. There'd be too many people shot. He puts these white supremacists out as his private militia. There's going to be just blood in the streets. Um, I don't like racism. My mom. I grew up. Let's see. See if I can. I grew up on Long Island. Not really grew up. I was born and I was raised a little bit. Spent very, very, very early part of my life out in Long Island till I got to the sixth grade. And then I moved to East Orange, New Jersey. I moved from a purely white neighborhood with a bigoted father whose only comments about people were, look at that dumb nigger over there. He was from Baldwin, Maryland, which when he was born, it was a rural city. I mean, I was down there on old farms, so I know what it was like, back in the day. Uh, Again, that's close to 60, 70 years ago. So it was a real different than it is now. But anyhow, getting back to the story is that he was a bigot, and I don't even know whether he knew he was a bigot because that's the way he grew up, and I was bigoted, and I didn't know if I was that, what the deal was there. But my mom grew up around. There were. No, I don't think she grew up in Pennsylvania, but she was born in Pennsylvania. But I don't think she spent a lot of time out there. But we have family that is, from what I can see, the old family Bible. There seems to be a trace of American Indian in there someplace. All right, the last name would be Smith. Now, uh, I'm not saying there is or there isn't. I've been told that I have one quarter Indian blood in me, and I have no idea what tribe or where or what. My mother got very vague on a lot of things. That was when she was young. You forget about it when she was older. But anyhow, so she was more liberal. And anyhow, I'm in school I'm at this Nassau school on South Arlington Avenue or something. Was it South Arlington? I think it was. No, it was right on. It was on Main Street. It was no Central Avenue. It fronted Central Avenue. That's right. And I'm in the playground one day, and this kid comes over. His name's Alfonso. Alfonso, I think, drove to school. He was probably one of the first really truly not bright person I ever met in my life. He wasn't. He was mentally challenged. I mean, he was just a big physical specimen, and that's how he got through life. He's one of these kids that he was never going to be anything but a bully. All right, and he wasn't even being a bully with me. What happened was he was out there one day, and I said to him, and I don't think I saw him more than twice after this either. I said to him, I said, "Hey, nigger, what's up?" And he broke my nose. which I found out later was deservedly. Um, I got beat up. I got beat pretty bad that day. I was in the office, and they throw him out of school. They wanted to, what was the problem with me? Why was I saying things like that? You can't say. And then my mom came down and talked to me for a while, for a few minutes, and explained some things to me, quickly. Okay, well, things worked out. I ended up being friends with that kid for the last couple of days he was in school. He's a good kid. He was basically a good kid. I mean, he wasn't robbing anybody at that time. I don't know what happened to him after that. I have no idea. I really have no idea about. I couldn't tell you his last name. I know nothing about him. But that was how I learned not to be a racist. And over the years, my mom would sit down and talk to me, and she would say, look, take a look at this. This is the city you live in. I said, this city cannot operate with a white only government. It cannot operate with a black only government, you know. And they tried both ways. When after the Newark riots and everything, they tried an all black government. Didn't work. I think it's all black now, but that's because the majority of the town. That I don't think there's very few. There's very few white people left. I know. Let's see, 1963, 3 years later, after I graduated high school, they told the last white kids in East Orange High School not to come back because they couldn't guarantee their safety. That's the condition the town went in. That's the direction it went in. My mother was still living there, lived there for a few years after that. Um, it was but that's, but it had to operate as a, if you have both races living in the town, it has to operate both ways. And if you're an all black city, you want an all black city, that's fine. If white people don't want to live there, that's fine. But you have to deal with white people. You have to deal with Hispanics. They're in government. They're in the state government. They're in the federal government. You have to be able to deal with everybody. Being a racist is not going to get you anywhere. You know, our government is racist. It's predominantly, our federal government is the House, the Senate, and whatnot is predominantly white. Okay, we had a black president, and I have to tell you some of the, at that time I was using Yahoo. I don't use Yahoo anymore, but I was using Yahoo, and I would read all the articles and everything, and then I would go and read the commentary, and sometimes I would come because I would comment on some of the articles and whatnot. And when somebody disagreed with Obama, they didn't say, well, he was this policy is wrong because they would come out and say something, that monkey prick is at it again, and Yahoo would print this stuff. You know, I don't think they do it. I don't know whether they're still doing it or not. I don't have a Yahoo. I have a Yahoo mailing address that I go to about once every 6 months and delete everything. Ads for porno ads and stuff like that. I use it. I use that address when I don't want to get any emails from people. I give them that address. Um, but the you can't survive as a look at South Africa. They couldn't do it. You know, their government was a minority and they couldn't do it. So I don't think a black minority government would work here either. But you have to get along with people. Um, unless you're so isolated from the real world, then maybe you don't have to talk to other people. You don't have to deal with black people or white people or you know what I'm saying. The races don't have to intermingle or deal with each other. I mean, I've met plenty of people that are mean, rotten, and miserable, on white or black. I've met a lot of prejudiced people. I've met more black racists than I have white racists. You know, the profession I was in was the restaurant industry. People have a tendency to keep their opinions to themselves. There, um, they might bitch about a gay guy working there or something, but they're not gonna get into the race war. because we couldn't run a restaurant if all we had was white people, because white people don't want to work that hard. We couldn't run a restaurant if we had all black people, because the white people wouldn't come in to a black restaurant. Black people would, but white people wouldn't. You can't, and that was a high class restaurant, so it took money to come to the restaurants I worked in. So, but I had a kitchen full of Chinese and Hispanics. The only bad thing about them was they used to understand each other, and I couldn't understand either one of them. That's a little scary when you're running a kitchen. You know what I mean? But if I didn't have that ability, if my mother didn't tell me to like everybody, what you do is you start out, you meet somebody, say hi, how are you? Okay. Then you talk to the guy for 15 minutes and say, this guy's a dumb motherfucker. I don't want to have anything to do with him. Okay, so you don't. You don't talk to him anymore. You're rude or whatever it is. I deal with a lot of people I don't like, and they deal with me, and they probably don't like me. It's how but it's part of life. Uh, the people that are the racists and the uh, I guess racist is the only term to use right there. The racists are the ones that um, don't want to deal with people. They don't want to have to deal with people. They don't want to have to deal with any non-white, And it's projected that in the next, I don't know, what is it, 20 years or something like that, that white people will be a minority. And they're not saying it's going to be black or Asian. They say it's going to be a mix. It's already started. I mean, when I was in school, I remember there was a couple that was friendly. My mom was friendly with, and they were a black and white couple. Okay, which was like, wow, you know, that wasn't back then in the 50s and in the early 60s and stuff. That wasn't done. I don't care whether you were north or south. It just wasn't done. And my mom said to me, you should feel sorry. I said, what do you think, Mom? She said, well, I kind of feel sorry for them. I said, because both sides hate them. You know, both families hated them, but they loved each other. And I don't know how long they stayed together. I've met other couples that were together a long time, and that's their business. I get upset when people say sometimes I say things that people think I'm a racist, and I say I get upset with people like Tiger Woods, because Tiger Woods professes the black people want Tiger Woods as a hero, and Woods basically wants nothing to do with it. In his whole history, he's never dated. He's dated mostly blonde white women. I think he's never dated. I don't really think he had a black girlfriend. I don't know. Um, so he's not a person of color. I mean, he might be dark. He considers himself Asian. He does not consider himself an American Negro or black African American, whatever the politically correct term is for the, the difference in races. So I get upset with guys like him. You know, I had a very good couple I knew. Met them when I was tending bar. They were black and white, and I had no problems with them. I thought they were great. They were fun people. They were at party. They were at a party at my house. Hey, you know, a lot of people that worked with me did not want them there. But all the black kids that worked in the restaurant when I used to throw parties, they were always at my parties. And it was like, hey Jeff, when are you going to throw another party? When are you going to throw another party? Because I didn't care. What color your skin was. If you worked, if you were a good kid, if you didn't try to rob me, or you didn't cause me problems or anything like that, you were just a good kid going along doing your thing. I don't care what color your skin is. I care if you're out there and you're doing some bad shit, like if you're mugging people or stabbing people, something like that. I don't care what color skin you are. You need to be put down, taken out, beaten, whatever it is, put in jail. That's the end of it. If you're a hard worker, I don't care what color your skin is. You know, if if you're not a hard worker, I don't care what color your skin is, just so long as you're not um, doing anything bad. That's like a gay couple. I have no, I have more gay. I have a lot of gay friends. I do, and they're nice people. They're fun to be around. They're highly intelligent. I have them down here too. Just make it. I make it very plain. Don't put your hand on my ass. Unless we're fooling around playing games or something like that. I said I'm not gay, but I have a great deal of respect for you. What's the problem? What's the difference? You know. Uh, but that's the same thing that goes with these racists is they're what's the term, homophobic. They don't think that the racists should that sexes should. They don't think there should be same-sex marriages. They don't think there should be same-sex relationships. They also don't believe in women's rights. They want to suppress women. I mean, some of the smartest people I've met have been women. Some of I'm serious. I mean, some of the smartest people I know personally are women. In my family, most of the smart people are women. You know, um, I got a niece that's out there. She's a vice president of a major corporation. You know, brilliant young lady, brilliant. She's Asian and she's a woman. Oh, she's Asian American and she's a woman. Hey, you know, you don't have to be a male to be smart. Uh, like I said, I mean, they're very creative. You know. Um, in the music industry, most singer songwriters that become successful. I mean, the best ones that I know out there are. I think Taylor Swift writes her own stuff, but they got Lady Gaga. Uh, what's her name? Aguilar. Uh, yeah, one that's very, that's smart, funny, and intelligent, and very talented. Uh, I don't think people like Britney Spears are intelligent. I think a lot of women are like that are basically brought up to. Not, I don't think it's their fault. I think they're conditioned to the fact that they get what they want because they got tits and an ass. And I don't think that's the way they were brought up. I don't think that's the way they maybe it was the way they were raised. I don't know, but I don't think that's a born in quality in a woman. I think that's an environmental issue. Born in intelligence is a born in issue. Your ability to learn is supposedly an inherited quality, a genetic thing. You can learn and you can become very, very smart, but your ability to use that intelligence creatively is restricted by your gene pool. I think I'm not sure. I don't really know how that works. I have a very high IQ. They keep telling me that, but I couldn't. I lost interest in certain things in school, and I understand how some of these other people that you watch that collapse and whatnot from the pressures of being called a genius. IQ doesn't mean anything. It's what you do with your life that means something. But getting back to the original point of this whole rant and raving is that you have this maniac who is mentally disturbed, I believe, going around and trying to start an insurrection. I think, and I don't know how we can not do anything about it. I don't know how you cannot. The Senate can let these people keep coming up and saying these lies. I mean, Marjorie Greene is a complete idiot. I mean, Getz is a criminal, and hopefully he'll go to jail before long. If not, then I've lost all faith in the justice system. But Greene is if she, like I said, I think I said it last week or the week before. I said if she actually, truly, and honestly believes everything that's coming out of her mouth, she's got some serious mental issues that she needs to deal with. I'm interested to see what happens at the end of August if Trump isn't reinstated as president by then. What are they going to do? Come up with another date? You know, um, I'd say let's do it. Let's do it Christmas Eve. Boston Tea Party or something. I don't know. I just I find it difficult to see that anybody that has a completely logical mind can adapt to the lies. I can see you adapting to a certain philosophy that disagrees with us, the American way of life and everything like that. I can see you coming up with that. I cannot see you listening to the crap that's coming out of the people that are speaking it. If you come up with this on your own, your own feelings say, I don't really like what's going on. I mean, there was a period of something like I think it was around 20 years. I didn't vote because I was just so disgusted with everything that was going on. And I said, it doesn't mean anything, you know? And then I saw what was going on in the community I was in, and I watched an election that was decided by about two votes within the town, an issue on a public issue, not on the election itself. I said, hey, I can get behind that. I can vote for something I care about, and I will. I'll vote for something I care about. That's the way I am. It's like school. I said they always told me I was so smart and everything, but if I wasn't interested in it, or if I couldn't see a practical application in the future for it, I didn't want to learn it. I saw no sense in learning it. It's like poetry. I saw no reason to study poetry. I'll read. I think it's pretty. It's nice. It's enjoyable. But I see no reason that I had to study it. Um, I see now there was a reason for studying a foreign language because the world is so. I mean, I'm talking. Anybody in the world can come and listen to this right now. So you know, having a world voice is something I wish I had. I wish I was able to learn Spanish. I can't learn Spanish. I try, I fail. I try, I fail. Going to keep trying to the day I die. We'll see what happens there. Um, I wish I could get more people to come and listen to me, even if they just laugh at me. Uh, I like that. I really enjoy. I wish there was some way we could debate issues because I really enjoy debating issues. I think one of the reasons that I people said you're argumentative, and I said one of the reasons I believe I'm argumentative is that's because how I learn things. If I don't become opinionated and argumentative, I'll never learn anything. If I just sit there and wait for people to tell me stuff, it's not. If I stimulate the conversation and I get people talking about an issue and they come up with an idea, that's stimulating. It's difficult to do down here, even with those people that speak English, because this, their their situation down here is worse than ours up there. They have a they have their own Donald Trump type president, and people are like in just like in the United States, people are dying because of that. So it's very difficult to talk to people about too much down here. Um, the only thing that one of the things I was going to say down here, and I've always said this, I said that we should get rid of the old people in politics, and down here they've been interviewing young people on the TV, and I know they're not your average young person because you can tell by the houses they live in and whatnot. They're part of they come from more or less elite families, but they make sense, you know. And that's where they need to get their next political leader from, that group of young people that's out there. It's the same thing in the United States. You keep electing people that are over 50. Um, and in Biden's case, Biden's a nice guy, but I just don't think you can think fast enough. All right, listen, it's time for me to go. I'm an example of not being able to think fast, but anyhow, it's time for me to go. It's been a pleasure, like always. Uh, Hope to see you next week. I don't know how to get this. I don't have any money, so I can't go out and buy advertising for me or anything like that. So, just if you do happen to catch me one time, or if you go see my video, or you catch my 3 for 3 on Twitter and Facebook or Tumblr, and you read my blog, do yourself a favor. Tell them about my live broadcast Monday nights. All right. If you're in Colombia, it's 7 o'clock. If you're in the United States in the East Coast, it's 8 o'clock. and I I'm going to try keeping them up, and then I'll see you next week. All right, take care.